whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Facebook laptop or your PC, whatever you call it.
How you guys doing today? I'm starting a little earlier than usual. Just not feeling good. Woke up just massive stomach ache. I actually ate a meal last night, and I am the typical modern 30-something, so I usually live off of probably salt and vinegar Pringles and fucking cereal. That's pretty much all I live on. It's sad because this is coming from a person that loves food and loves cooking food and loves cooking food for others. When I had a whole, life and shit, and my kids were still living with me, they would be eating on a daily basis, just a smorgasbord of breakfast foods. Like, I would get up around 7:30. The kids get up around 7, so they're always pulling me, and then by 7:30 I'm up, and I wasn't the kind of dad that would provide them with, here's a box of cereal and some bowls, I had friends that had parents like that, and I always thought that was strange because where I came from, my mom always made breakfast. So we used to have a tradition every Sunday. Sunday was usually because Saturday was usually grocery day, and then Sunday was usually that was the day where we had the really big breakfast because Dad was home. Dad didn't have to go to work, so he would always ask for what he called the full package, which was bacon, sausage, potatoes, eggs, the whole shebang. And so I wanted my kids to grow up with that. So, when they woke up, and I had a friend that I was allowing living in my basement because he had nowhere to go. And he couldn't believe the stuff that I was making because he'd look at my dinner table, and my wife would have already gone to work by now. But he would look at it and just say, wow, are they going to eat all that? And most of the time, they only ate a third of it. So I would make, hash browns or sliced potatoes. And then, what's it called? Eggs, bacon, waffles or pancakes. And so they had plenty to choose from. I always loved Sundays because there was so much food to choose from. So we would do the same thing. And to go from that kind of lifestyle to living on Count Chocula and Pringles, it was kind of a shock to the system. My stomach started really acting up. And now it's gotten to the point where I can't even tolerate lactose, and it really sucks because I'm a huge fan of milk. But if you get older, you'll realize that you start gaining allergies you never even knew you had. You develop allergies. I wouldn't say you already had them, but you develop allergies that you never thought you would have. And one of those for me was always lactose intolerance. I used to think people that were lactose intolerant needed to be shot to like a different planet because I just considered it weakness. And so to this day, I'll still force myself to drink milk because, well, actually, for the first month I did. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. For the first month I fought it, but now I just go with the lactose-free shit. You can't even jewel. Come on. Like I said, they're always the worst picture. Like the worst face I could make is where it'll freeze. So, all right. Cheers. Good morning, guys. Wake and bake with you and I. Never too early. And it's I never like that comment when people say, oh God, it's not even 9. It's not even 9 a.m. and you're already stoned. And it's like, yeah. Well, the reason for that is because I don't have to operate any kind of really heavy machinery anytime soon. I just woke up. And, yeah, it's my day off, so I really don't care. But my whole teenage through adulthood, I've been a wake and baker. The only time that I didn't smoke was with my kids because, I had a 5 o'clock rule back then. I didn't like being stoned around my kids. It's just a weird feeling. It's not that I'm subdued or it's not like there's anything I can't do stoned that I can do sober. I mean, maybe it'll take me longer to do math problems, but that's about it. I'll still get them right. It'll just take me a second longer. So I never saw the big deal in that. So if you read the caption today is the 14th, and the topic of today was supposed to be media sucks. And the reason why I just went with general media is because it consists of so many things now. Whereas before, the media was journalism, the news, 60 Minutes, shit like that. That's what we considered the media. Now the media is, it's online, it's on paper, it's on TV, it's everywhere. And I had said this with the late night shows, but this goes double for daytime TV and the news, especially in the political realms. Let's use that term that they had for a little bit. When the right believed that there was going to be a quote unquote red wave that was going to sweep the nation, and we ended up having. I don't want to say we because I don't consider myself a Democrat, but the Democrats actually had a better turnout than they've had since 1936, I think. Normally during an election, for runoffs and midterms, usually the incumbent loses, and that's pretty much just how history always went. So it shows a lot when you have all these people on paper saying they agree with you, and then when they get to the polling box, they can't bring themselves to vote for you. It's like they support your team, but they don't support your player. And that's important, and luckily people are making the right decision. Or should I say the left decision? Nah. So, now, when I said this about the nighttime shows, what I meant to say was if you pay attention and you watch like Jimmy Kimmel, and then watch like John Oliver or Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, they're all gonna have the same damn joke, and it shows that these writers all think alike. But when it comes to journalism, the media, all that shit, like I said, we're using the red wave as an example. And when they said, I don't even think it's gonna be a red wave, and you heard Ted Cruz saying, I believe it's gonna be a red tsunami. Suddenly, every goddamn channel was saying red wave or red tsunami. And, if you watch shows like Seth Meyers, he'll put a whole compilation of it, of how all these shows say the same shit. And one of them was so stupid. It was just the first day of December. And for some reason, that was a big deal for the news. Like, they were all shouting out, can you believe it's already December? Yeah, I was here in November, so yeah, I kind of saw December coming. So you'll notice that they all use the same buzzwords and the same nomenclatures, and the reason why is because they want that stuck in your head. And it really shows that all these media services work for the same team, because there's no fucking way every single writer for these news programs is going to come up with the same exact nomenclature for this new buzzword. And I can't stand buzzwords. I really can't. Recently it was red wave, but one of the newest buzzwords people love using is incel, and I know I've already gone on my tangent about that because it's a compound word in a way. I mean, it's a combination of two words, and so therefore it's kind of like a compound word, but put together it cancels itself out and becomes a paradox. And it's ridiculous. Okay, so think of incel, INCEL, and so you know that the first two letters are in for involuntary, and the second word is cel for celibate. If you are celibate, it's voluntary. Celibate is voluntary. You choose not to have sex. So if you are involuntarily celibate, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you wouldn't be celibate. You're just a dude that can't get laid. And when the fuck has that been a new thing? Dudes have been out there trying to get laid since there were dudes. So the media tends to go the extra mile and tries to sum up where this anger is coming from these kids and these young adults that are going around killing people because they can't get fucking laid. And of course a part of me feels sad for that person, because I mean, how many times has this person been rejected to the point where the only explanation for it is everyone's against me and they all gotta go? That's a strange conclusion to jump to, but I don't know, when you watch movies like Taxi Driver and Joker, you always get that sense that there are people like that out there. And it's not that they're involuntarily celibate. Sorry, I knocked into my own microphone. So it's not that they're involuntarily celibate. It's that they're awkward people, and it's hard for them to convey how they feel. And for the rest of us that are pretty well articulated, we don't understand why it's so hard for them. But I can. I can empathize with that. That doesn't mean that I agree with any of their decisions to go harm people because they can't get laid, dude. It's called an escort. You know, if you got $300, there you go. And I mean, I knew drug dealers, you know, that literally spent like all their money on the sex, you know, on the oldest uh whatever. You know, paying for sex is nothing new. But that's why they say it's the oldest job in the book or whatever. The oldest profession. There you go. And so it always made me sad that, you know, people have to pay for sex, because for me, if I apply myself, I can get it for free. I mean, still, I got to pay for some shit. I got to pay for liquor and stuff, but I was going to pay for that anyway. That's why I'm at the bar. And so I try thinking about it and how this media puts them in this dark shade of personal turmoil, and to them, every one of them's a ticking time bomb. But some of these kids seem so fucking normal that I don't even think it's that. It seems to me more like a problem with reality. Like, these kids don't feel like they exist, and the media doesn't talk about how they have built this society where you have to belong or you don't exist. And then, you know, women today are having less sex than like ever, and it's a fact. It's really sad, and it's also kind of funny because you know, I totally believe in feminism, but you know, there's a balance there, you know. But the more women I'm talking to, the more I'm realizing that they're not having sex either. The thing is that women can tolerate not having sex. Like, they're like sex camels. A lot of them are. You know, some women are like guys and just need to get fucked. I believe Jenny McCarthy had even said at one point that she hated foreplay. She's the kind of girl that's like, hey, don't kiss me down my feet or whatever. Just fuck me. And so there's those types of people. And then there's the other type that needs to be guided. And although women have been socially repressed, it's at a point now where it's like women against men rather than, you know, us just being human. So yeah, you have more women going on less dates. There's fewer marriages now than there were before, but I don't put that on. I don't put any kind of stock in that, because I think that marriage is an antiquated notion. I can love you for the rest of my life, and I don't need a government piece of paper to say that. And yeah, marriage was always about property, and you know, it was always about property ownership and legacy. That's all marriage ever was. There was no intent to make marriage about love, because although they, you know, although the actual event happens and there's a lot of talk of, do you want to love and cherish this person? After that, it's all legality. You know, a married couple can, you know, you have to file joint taxes. If you have kids, you guys have to find out which one makes more money, and that person needs to claim the kids so they can get a higher tax refund. It's all that. It's all economics and bullshit. So the fact that marriage numbers are down does not surprise me. We're getting older, as a species, and we're realizing that marriage has been here the whole time just so that way you can sign that piece of paper and the government can now be in your relationship. So I never saw the point in getting married, although I am divorced. I married the only person that was worth marrying, and I got divorced because of my own stupidity. So, um, you know, just a nice little fun fact there. Don't get married when you're 19. Take some time, live your life, and so anyway, like I said, you have all these different media corporations. They all are owned by the same fucking people. So, you have Pepsi and Coke, but they're all owned by, you know, uh, let's just make up a company. There's like, it's like having Coke and Pepsi, but they're both owned by Dr. Pepper anyway. Of course, that's not how it really is, but I'm just using it as an example. And so when you have that, you're having false opposition. And when you have false opposition, there are going to be times where they clash, and they're kind of saying the exact same thing. And it's pretty damn transparent to me that these media corporations are out there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to get involved in your life and to, tax you even more. Um, oh no, I think I lost it. Yes, I did. We have this new idea coming out that I really am excited about. It's gonna be It's gonna be basically kind of like a comic book, and or a graphic novel, and the illustrations I'm hoping can be done by a friend of mine that actually did our logo. He does like most of our graphics, so hopefully that works out because the idea is really fun. The entire idea is basically a I don't want to give away too much, but it's kind of like a Batman situation, but without the gravitas and the grandeur of it being, you know, taking down mob bosses and all that shit. This guy more focuses on the underground, which if you've ever been homeless, you know that every night is a goddamn war zone. And, you're never safe. Homeless people deal with some of the scariest shit that anyone could ask for. And, you can look at them and turn your head away and think, thank God that's not me. But you know what? You should take a second and wonder what would you do if it was? Because anyone can become homeless. Failure is simple. Failure is easy. So sometimes you fail so badly you can't get back. And a lot of times that's what these guys deal with. And so yeah, there's a lot of love for I have a lot of love for homeless people. And as a kid that was a constant runaway, I relied on them. They were my friends. They were, the only people willing to look out for a 15-year-old kid without having to worry about me being raped. So, I had a guy named Mike, who used to be a homeless guy around the Lincoln Square area of Chicago. He was a very well-known guy. He was always by the McDonald's near Lawrence and Western. And this guy had watched me go on one of my first big dates. this guy was there for me when he saw how nervous I was. He even gave me some of his vodka to kind of calm my nerves. Um, he was just a very kind and loving person that, didn't care if you gave him $1 into his cup. He just cared if you gave him some sort of conversation, some acknowledgement, he cared more about talking to you than, getting a buck from you. And, oh, we have another one. Let's put this one up over. There we go. Thank you, Sheki. Appreciate you for subscribing. Don't forget, the more you guys sign up, the more I can put you guys up here. I did mention to one of our friends on the show, Red, that a lot of the names are very hard for me to pronounce, and it turns out that she has been recommending the show. So here's another name I cannot pronounce. There it goes. Thank you, Tanapat. So I am making this idea. I'm trying to get this idea to come to life. I did an audio version of the script, and adding in the sound effects and all that, it took me over an hour and some minutes to get 5 minutes of material. So it's a long script, but I'm hoping to have it done in the next couple days. And then I might take off an episode, or at least do like a 20-minute episode, and then end it with the actual, sneak peek of it. So yeah, you should always remember that, these celebrities and shit, they don't know a damn thing about life. And I had just gotten a conversation on Facebook that was cracking me up, and it was about Beyonce, and the fact that it said, I am not a Beyonce fan, but, and then this person lists all of Beyonce's accolades in the last, 20 years. And I couldn't help but think, so fucking what? All of these awards are given to you by the system that created you. So if you work for McDonald's and you want to talk about all the awards you've received for being the best person in the world, but every single award came from McDonald's, you wouldn't be that impressed. And so when I seen that, I wanted to talk about, the fact that those accolades that you've listed are completely arbitrary and just hand jobs from the system, or the academy, or the industry, or the fucking producers. And I've never seen this woman pick up an instrument. I've never seen this woman play anything. I've never seen this woman work with musicians. I've never seen her write anything. So you're a very pretty face with a reasonably decent voice. It's not that good. Her dance moves to me were always a ripoff of Tina Turner, and I always thought that she was trying to be this generation's Tina Turner, but hey, honey, you don't have the legs that Tina Turner had. You just don't. So it ended with, so the next time you want to say Beyonce is overrated, think about all that. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of just proved us even more right. So I want to get into the comments and start talking shit, I'm not a troll, but if I see something that I disagree with, I'm going to fucking voice it. And so, yeah, it was funny that every person already said it for me. And It's great. And I think that it's a sign that people are finally losing that sense of celebrity worship and that media frenzy. I think we're finally getting past that. Of course, it frees up. But I think we're finally getting past that. And that's a huge deal, in my opinion. Uh, Maybe we'll actually have some people that can think for themselves soon. Okay, so with that, that's my time. Love spending time over here. Never mind being in front of all these lights and cameras. It really doesn't bother me. As you can see, you never see me reading from a prompter, or you never see me holding up paper. It's because I can easily talk to you guys, you know. So I love my audience. Thanks a lot for all your love, and especially your support. So we love you. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. But you know, remember to love your fellow human being and neighbor, and also non-species, or non-human species. Love your dog. Don't kick it. And give more love to cats. Cats don't get a good rap, More people like dogs than cats, and I'm a cat person. Alright, so we love you. Take care of yourselves. And as always, I will see you on the other side. See you guys tomorrow.
Useless agent is on your team.